Donald Trump is blaming black people for the flood in Texas. Yeah, there's a black black firefighter chief in Austin, 2 hours away. And him and the national firefighters are blaming him, despite the Trump administration cutting weather service. Ted Cruz, I'm saying Tom Cruise, cutting the weather service as well in the big, beautiful bill. In other words, they're cutting weather service. They're going to continue to do it, but they would rather you focus on the Epstein files. They would rather you focus on the sideline stuff instead of point that out. And of course, they're blaming a black guy in Austin, 2 hours away from where the site was for the floods. Just like they blamed, they called out DEI when that plane crashed over in D.C. Ronald Reagan Airport, crashed into the helicopter. They called it out. They put DEI on that too. This is the type of people we have. Do not get upset over it. I'm not telling you this to get you upset. I'm telling you this because the attempt to pimp outrage is what's here. That's what this is. An attempt to pimp outrage. They want you mad as hell about what happened. They want you mad as hell about what is taking place. Because if you're mad, then you're not really paying attention to them cutting out the weather service that they're going to continue to, and continuing to cut FEMA. As a Katrina evacuee, the Chicago guy, knew nothing about hurricanes. I was working in New Orleans in radio, and it's 20 years as of next month. And I remember how disastrous that was. And people were like, never again. We can't ever have that again. And sure enough, our nation in fear with racism, homophobia, misogyny, xenophobia, and every other kind of phobia out there, prejudice, is still voting for ridiculousness here. This is grow up time. Enough of this bullshit. Just stop it. This is crazy. Sitting there blaming black and brown people for this, women for that, gays for this. This is just brown people for that. That's just, it's a sideline. And what I want to assure all of you is that we're going to ride this out. He's got less than 3.5 years, which means 40 months. And then we're going to move forward, and they're going to feel our presence in the midterms all day long. Okay? Hang in there. Just hang in there. It's the things you can do. I'm not going to tell you that go contact your Congress. I've been saying that before. Okay, cool. Keep in touch with what's happening with them. Get on their email list. But stay in touch with indivisible.org. Stay in touch with the American Civil Liberties Union. And stay in touch with me here. And of course, I'm going to say it, my Clarity group. And I have a Moneymaker group as well. The idea is find out what the is going on. But realize this, and this is what I say in my Clarity group. You got to understand, and this is not Stations of the Cross. This is not religion. What I'm pointing out here are quadrants. There are 4 quadrants. The 2 top are what you control and what your highest priority are, and what you don't control and what your lowest priority are. Too often you're stressing about stuff you don't control that may be a low priority, or it may be a high priority, but you don't control. So what can you do? I'm not saying nothing can be done. I'm saying there is activism and there is power behind people. So I'm encouraging people always to reach out, whether it be their Congress, whether it be, all of these organizations I just mentioned. But here's the thing. At one point, it's like watering a plant. It's like, feeding it with plant food. You gotta let it cultivate and see what happens. You do the best you can do. Also, the people around you. Have you taken a good look at what they're doing and how they're thinking? Maybe they're thinking different than you. Maybe you forward my videos to them and thank you. But I want you to understand there's some people who are only going to get so much of what they're going to get. That's the key thing. I want you to understand that. That's important. Please, by all means, take a moment, relax, put it together, and realize what's happening. Don't freak out. You can't control other people. You can only control yourself and the environment around you. Okay? So don't freak out. You are what you think about. And whatever you think about, if you sit there and worry yourself, you could worry yourself to death over some shit that you got no control over. You need to find a center peace and understand that, yes, God, the universe is going to take care of this. But at the same time, you also got to have a center peace for your peace of mind and happiness. Facts.